On this special episode of SchuZ Views, episode 13, number 86 recruit in the nation of the 2020 class, Shon Robinson, joins the show to talk about so many topics that you're not going to miss, especially what he has to say about Ole Miss, why he went to the Oakland Soldiers, and what it's like playing for EDUPRIZE. Then, I get down into business and I talk about the all NBA teams, all rookie teams, all defensive teams, and what my take is on them. Also, I give my top 10 picks in the NBA mock draft, my coaching and front office updates, SchuZ Zone, which you're not going to miss, and of course, I got an NBA playoffs recap of what's going on so far in the conference finals. You're not going to miss what I have to say today. It's a very special episode, so get ready and have fun. What's going on, everyone? This is SchuZ Views, and I'm extremely excited that you guys are here with me today. This has been a great weekend of basketball, and I'm very excited to get into it with you guys today. But before I go any further, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm your host, Zach Schumaker, and I'm in my home in Gilbert, Arizona. And I'm extremely excited to bring a new view of this great game to you guys here today. Later on this show, the 86th ranked player in the class of 2020, Shon Robinson, joins SchuZ Views to chop it up about all kinds of stuff, including his recent commit to Ole Miss, playing with the Oakland Soldiers, and playing for EDUPRIZE. There's so much to get into today, and I'm extremely excited to. So if I were you, I'd get settled and get ready for a very great show. Stay tuned, everyone. Alright, everyone. So the first topic I want to get into today is the All-NBA teams, including also the All-Rookie team and the All-Defensive team. Now, those awards should be coming out in the coming days or weeks. That being said, I want to get into it right now today on this episode so I can hit up who I think will be on each team. As for the All-NBA first team, the guard spots will be Curry and Harden. Curry could very well be debated with Damian Lillard, but I have to go with Stephen Curry. I mean, obviously, James Harden, Paul George, and Giannis are all on there because they're the three MVP finalists. And at center is a debatable option. I put Joel Embiid over Nikola Jokic. Now, Jokic could very well be there, but I'm going to go with Joel Embiid just because of how great he was and how great of stats he did. And yes, Jokic was a great, phenomenal triple-doubles, but I'm putting Jokic at All-NBA second team. Then at guard for All-NBA second team, I'm putting Damian Lillard and Donovan Mitchell. Damian, yes, I think all you guys agree. Donovan Mitchell might be a surprise. In my opinion, Donovan Mitchell is a player that's a youngster that's going to work every day and rise to the playoffs 2 straight years. That's impressive. Now, no, we don't. Once again, we do not talk about the playoff stats do not have any implications or anything in regards to what the All-NBA, what the awards are. So that being said, he got him to the playoffs. That's what matters. I have to put him there over guys like DeMar DeRozan, over guys like Bradley Beal, and so on and so forth, just because of that fact. At 4 is Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant. Yes, Kevin Durant's probably better than for Paul George and probably better than Giannis. That's debatable, as I've said. But I'm putting him there just because of the fact that, once again, playoffs do not matter. And obviously, Nikola Jokic. As for the third team, I'm going with my 2 guards are Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan. That third team is where there's always going to be debates and who was on and off, who was snubbed, and so forth. So my guards are Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan. Let me explain this. Russell Westbrook, I went into this a couple episodes ago. He averaged a triple-double. That won him MVP a couple years ago. So there's no way in the world that he will not be an All-NBA player this year. No way. It's absolutely crazy if he's not. DeMar DeRozan, I believe that either him or LaMarcus Aldridge shouldn't make it because of the fact that San Antonio did make the playoffs and those 2 guys were phenomenal this year. But there were some snubs. Some of them was Lou Williams. Fabulous off the bench, but I'm just not going to put him there. Yes, he brought his team to the playoffs, but he did not have the same impact that DeMar and Russell Westbrook did. Bradley Beal is the big one, though. Bradley Beal, in terms of shooting guard, he could very well be the second or third team. Because his team was not successful this year, I could have put him there. DeMar DeRozan made the playoffs, and the stats were just not. They were close to Bradley Beal. Now, if Bradley Beal gets All-NBA third team, I understand that I'm not going to have a big fuss about it. But that's what I'm saying with DeMar DeRozan. As for the point guard spots, I truly think, and the last thing about shooting guard, actually, Devin Booker. Booker's phenomenal stat-wise. Missed a lot of games this year, but also the fact that Suns were the worst team, or the second worst team in the NBA. Can't really debate that. As for the point guard, though, Kemba Walker, I love Kemba. And he could have very well made it. Same thing with Kyrie Irving, but I'd rather have Kemba over Kyrie. Kyrie, I don't think, belongs on the All-NBA team whatsoever this year. He was not that good. But D'Angelo Russell, I truly do believe he should be on it. But just guard talent is so great. Maybe DeMar DeRozan moves to 4, there's another guard spot open. We will see, but as for right now, that's my guards. After the forwards, LeBron James and Blake Griffin. LeBron's LeBron. He missed a lot of games. The team didn't make the playoffs, but his numbers were still fabulous. As for Blake Griffin, he was exceptional all year. Played at a very high level, played with heart, and brought his team to the playoffs. He averaged insane numbers among some of the best in the NBA. There's not much debate there. Maybe Aldridge could have snuck in there, but I don't think so. The center, I'm putting Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, there's two guys in particular that truly could contend with maybe not knocking him out. And that's Rudy Gobert because defense and Nikola Vucevic, but I don't think neither one of those guys adds up to the impact Karl-Anthony Towns has, even though their team wasn't great, but they weren't bad. Also, the other guys you could have thrown in, Luka was great, Mike Conley was great, but I'm not putting them in that contention. That's what I got to say. That's my All-NBA teams. Now, let's move on to All-Rookie teams. As for All-Rookie teams, on the very first team, I have Colin Sexton at the point guard, Trae Young at the other guard, Luka Doncic, Marvin Bagley III, and DeAndre Ayton. This rookie class is special, and I'm going to get into that in a future episode when I break down this entire draft class. But for right now, that's what I have. As for the second team, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Landry Shamet, Kevin Knox, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Mitchell Robinson. Wendell Carter was fabulous this year, absolutely sensational. Bridges had great spotlight moments. Brunson played good. Mikal Bridges could have earned it, but this draft class was just so stacked. I mean, Shai was absolutely fabulous as a guard. Landry averaging 12 points a game, bringing him to the playoffs and starting. He was shooting an exceptional highlight rate from three. Knox averaged 13 points a game. Jaren Jackson Jr. before injury was insane, and Mitchell Robinson was one of the best blockers in the entire NBA and scored and got double-doubles. It was fabulous. There's so many great talent, but that's what I have to have here. All defensive. My first team is at point guard. I have Drew Holiday and Paul George. I don't think that's debatable. Then I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Then I have Miles Turner, and then I have Rudy Gobert. That's what I have to say about that. I think all three of those guys are the guys that are all defense are on the finals for Defensive Player of the Year. Miles Turner led the league in blocks, and Drew Holiday just exceptional. Yes, he missed a lot of games. All defensive second team, I have Russell Westbrook, Marcus Smart, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid. Davis missed a lot of games, very hard for me to put him there, but when he did play, his numbers were fabulous. Embiid is also an elite defensive player. Kawhi, we know what that man can do. Marcus Smart, fabulous this year, big time for Boston Celtics, and Russell Westbrook was one of the top steal leaders in the entire NBA. Covington, if he played more games, could have very well been in there. A few other guys, but that's what I have to say for right now. That's my All-NBA team, All-Rookie team, and All-Defensive team. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Send me a voice memo if you guys disagree or agree. Let me know, everyone. Coming up next is probably why a lot of you guys are here. The 86th ranked player in the class of 2020, Shon Robinson, EDUPRIZE star player, and Oakland Soldier star player. He will be on the show coming up next, and I don't think you're going to want to miss it. He's recently committed to Ole Miss, and he's got a whole lot of stuff to talk about why he committed there and what he likes about being there. He's got a whole bunch of goals, a whole lot of stuff that you're not going to want to miss. Stay tuned as Shon Robinson comes on SchuZ Views next. I'm extremely excited to be able to welcome the 86th ranked player from the class of 2020 and Ole Miss commit, Shon Robinson. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. Let's talk about the first thing. I mean, you're in the middle of your season right now, obviously, with club and the Oakland Soldiers. How do you like playing for them?
I love playing with Oakland Soldiers. They're a great group of guys. I mean, there's not really much more you can ask for in a basketball team.
Mm-hmm. So why'd you say you choose them?
I mean, really, me and my coach, we really just sat down and had just a long, hard thought process about that. We just thought that was the best fit for me.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sure there's a bunch of other club teams that are probably interested in you. Were there any that you were also considering with, or?
I mean, no, not that I know of. Me and my kept that between him. He really just managed all that, and I just trusted him, really.
All right, cool. So then obviously being ranked by ESPN in the top 100, how does it feel being ranked by them?
I mean, it's great being ranked top 100. I mean, I guess everyone's dream come true.
Mm-hmm, for sure. So the next thing we can obviously go into is, I mean, you've committed to Ole Miss now. Why would you say was the final decision and why you wanted to go play with Ole Miss?
I mean, Ole Miss is a good school. I mean, of course, there's a lot of great schools out there, and there's a lot of good fits.
No doubt.
I feel like that was a good fit. I mean, as a lot of people just been telling me they feel like I should have went somewhere else. But I mean, I'm glad where I went.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I just feel like that was the best, really.
For sure. So I mean, obviously, a lot of people. Obviously, not everyone's going to agree with it because maybe it's not a powerhouse school like Kansas or Duke and all. But I mean, most people realize that a lot of those guys, unless you are the top of the top players, they end up committing anyways, going to another place where you could just truly find yourself at a still great school and develop into being a star player there.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously you had a bunch of other offers and you narrowed it down to 12 teams, but would you say there was anything that you kind of decided on, originally went down to like top 3 or top 5 or something prior to the announcement?
I mean, we like basically. I mean, it's really hard to explain because I know I did commit off of the top 12, but it's just like we did have a top 5 and then we had a top 3. But I mean, all that was just like inner talk.
Mm-hmm. Is there any other teams that you really stood out to you besides Ole Miss?
I mean, not I wouldn't like say. I mean, every school's good, but I really have like no favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then, obviously, I mean, you started off your high school career playing for Higley. Why would you say you decided to move on to go to EDUPRIZE?
Well, I mean, EDUPRIZE, it was a good fit, and I mean that was probably one of the. Okay, so basically, it was a couple charter schools that really wanted me, but I felt like EDUPRIZE was just the best fit, just because I like how the academics are and I like the staff, students.
Mm-hmm. So would you say with Higley I mean, obviously playing with Jason was probably pretty fun. I mean, was there anything that kind of decided to make you say you were time to move on from there, or was it just kind of you knew EDUPRIZE was a better place?
I mean, yeah, I just felt like EDUPRIZE was a better place. Higley is a great school. They have a great program and great staff as well. I mean, everything they did over there was correct. I just felt like it was a better opportunity.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. So were there any other prep schools that you were considering, or was it just EDUPRIZE was just by far the better place?
No, it was just EDUPRIZE charter. I ain't really looking to prep schools. They weren't really like, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable going to a prep school.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that's something that obviously it has its benefits of being able to travel nonstop, but also it's not necessarily the high school atmosphere at all because you're not really going to school in that terms.
Right.
So, and your final year of EduPrize, what would you say you'd really want to accomplish in terms of yourself, like improve on?
I mean, honestly, I just want to be a better teammate. I want to lead this year. I want to make sure that my guys like know like, oh, we're going to win a state championship. And I want to go undefeated. Like we had a great season to be a first year team. Don't get me wrong, but like
Mm-hmm.
no, I feel like me and my guys could have won undefeated last year. And I mean, that's something to really prove, especially being a charter school. We really get looked upon as differently because we don't play AIA schools. But I mean, I could really say it for myself. A lot of AIA schools can't mess with us.
Mm-hmm. Of course. I mean, you guys, that's something that I think's becoming more and more popular, and I think it should be because when the AIA kind of looks over, it's kind of their force and their rules and all, where you can't really play interchangeable divisions and all that. But I mean, when you go to a prep school or you go to a charter school, you truly can play the best of the best, and you guys are just different than other schools.
Right.
So, what would you say as a team is their goal? I mean, you just said undefeated, but is there anything specifically in terms of as a team you guys want to do and accomplish this year?
I mean, I, I pretty much feel the goal is the same for everyone. We just want to win state and just have an undefeated season. That's really it.
Mm-hmm. Who would you say is probably going to be the team that is most likely going to come against you guys? You guys are going to match up against?
I mean, I don't honestly know how the CIA
Mm-hmm.
is going to come next year. It might be a lot of teams coming for us.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, when you obviously talk about your game, who would you say is someone that you truly model your game around, or someone that you've always wanted to look up towards and try playing like them?
I mean, I've always wanted to play like KD, but it's more like of who I really feel comfortable as. And I feel like LaMarcus Aldridge is more my type, but I feel like I could just dribble a little bit better than him.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. I mean, I've been able to watch a little bit because I know I'm pretty close to Jason too. So I watched at Higley, and then I've watched a couple of times now. I mean, that's something. I mean, that truly is something that makes sense. I mean, a mid-range kind of game with a shooting stroke of all over, but also is that you're able to attack and you're a lot more athletic and lengthier than someone like them.
Right.
So obviously, I mean, you start off. Everyone's known you in terms of the state as being a good player, but obviously the last year or so, you truly took your game to a whole nother level where you obviously had the ESPN accolades and a whole lot of different stuff. But what would you say was the first thing when you're like your career really started taking off and you noticed it?
I mean, when I noticed my career was really taking off, was it was a game at it was our first game my sophomore year. It was I don't even know, it was at Avondale. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like how I was looking at how I felt about my team, I was like, bro, we could really do something like we could take our like this Jamal Murray team, we could take it to the next level. Like that's how I really truly felt.
Mm-hmm. What
Yeah.
exactly happened in that game where it kind of clicked that way?
I mean, we were just my atmosphere, like my team just made me feel like we can really do this. Like they put that confidence in me. It was like, no, we can really do this. And like ever since that, I just carried that confidence to be like, oh yeah, I could really do this now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you obviously, I know that people have seen probably some highlights of you, but what's probably your favorite, either block or dunk or something that you truly always remember as your favorite play as of right now?
My favorite play as of right now, I would never forget what always my favorite play was when I first dunked because I got the steal, I dribbled it all the way down, and then I rose up and dunked on dude, and that was my first ever dunk.
How old were you, or
Yeah.
what grade?
I think it was at eighth grade going to freshman year. We were at the Milwaukee tournament. It was a championship. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to tell you that was one of my best moments ever.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
mean, that's something that I'm sure everyone knows that the first time they dunk or do something like that, it's never gonna be forgotten.
yeah.
So, what would you say would be the best player you've played against as of right now, if it's club or during your school season or something like that?
Uh, Best player I ever played against. Oh, I didn't really think about that one.
Or I guess you could say like your top five or some noteworthy people.
I mean, I played like the best player that I ever really like guarded, have to guard. It would probably be. Oh man, I forgot his name. He was it was when I was younger. He was I think he's a 5-star now. I don't even know his name. I had to guard him now. I think it was SchuZ Evans. That's probably like the highest ranked player, should I say, that I ever had to
Okay.
guard. Yeah.
So, how about what's some of the best players or the best player you've played with?
The best players I ever played with. Uh I mean, to me, the best players I ever played with is my EDUPRIZE homies. But I mean, like on paper and like ESPN, I guess you have to say Zaire. Well, actually, no, that's probably the best player I played with, Zaire.
Hmm.
That
How
yeah, that dude's different.
how was playing with them?
So I love playing with Zaire. Like that guy's different. Like, he really can go. Like that's a teammate I wouldn't want to lose for nothing. Like if me and Zaire could take this thing as far as we can, I would take it as far as I can with him.
No doubt. So
Yeah.
let's talk about Arizona basketball. I mean, it's obviously, I mean, everyone knows that we're starting to truly grow up and become one of the California, Texas, the New York, Florida kind of schools, I mean, or states. I mean, there's so much talent nonstop being produced, starting with, of course, Marvin and those kind of guys. But how would you say
Right.
is like some of the guys that you truly see around the state that's continue to develop just like you and become a star in Arizona?
I mean, I see it happening. Like Arizona's gonna come up.
Hmm.
Like this, I know this ain't my home state, but like I see a lot of people that's really putting in work to become something, and it's showing. Like yeah, Arizona may be looked upon as like one of those states that is easy, but no, it's gonna become tough real soon.
No doubt. I mean, that's
Yeah,
something that, like, obviously there's been the phenoms like Marvin Bagley and all, but the thing between
yeah,
guys moving in from different states or even different countries, and then it's the fact of kids being homegrown and developing because of Marvin being a role model in the community and all. I mean, it's truly starting
right,
to shake up to where there's so many guys in the top ESPN top 100 from Arizona, which is awesome to see.
right.
So, who would you say is one of the most underrated players in the state?
One of the most underrated players. One of the most underrated players. I have a couple of them actually, because there's a lot of people in Arizona that are underrated to me.
Hmm.
I mean, like my top three would be Jalen Anderson, Jordan Flowers, and United Torre. Those are top guys that are underrated to me.
Hmm. What would you say separates them or why they are underrated?
I mean, I feel like they haven't really been seen, but like from what I see, they can really go. Like it's a lot of players out here that's like, oh, they're not being like advertised and they're not being put out there, but it's like, no, they really got the goods.
Hmm. And that's
Yeah,
something I can't wait to see too. 'Cause, I mean, with the fact that there are so many Arizona players, guys like the phenoms, like even guys like you and Kyrie, I mean, all you guys, I mean, they do kind of take away from the media because they want to watch the top of the top. But I mean, obviously, when they get these offers and eventually they go to college, they're going to turn up to a whole nother level, just like guys like Marcus Howard and Brandon Clark have.
right.
So, who's your favorite NBA player?
Like all time.
I listen to all time and current.
All time, my favorite NBA player is Larry Bird, and then current, I have to go with my boy Jabari Parker.
Hmm. How
Yeah.
come?
Well, I say Larry Bird just because like it's just so much people don't know about him. Like, dude, like that dude's like different. Like you telling me, like everyone only sees him for shooting, but it's like no, he would make you fall, he would dunk on you, and he would talk trash to you. Like that's the best thing that anybody could do. It's like you just don't notice that. And then Jabari, I mean that's my guy. He from Chicago, so you know I got to rock with him. I mean, Jabari
Hmm.
really got it like that. He just going through a rough time, but I feel like he'll come up eventually.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, I wish the thing in Chicago would have worked out, but I mean, he started to show up big time in Washington.
Yeah.
So who would you say is your favorite NBA team?
My favorite NBA team is, of course, the Bulls.
Hmm.
Always got to
So
go home.
no doubt. It was just one of your favorite all time. Who's your favorite all time Bull player then?
My favorite all-time ball player, of course, Jordan.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. So
Yes,
if there's
sir.
one player you could play with in the NBA, like if you could be in the NBA right now, who's one player you'd love to play with?
Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm. Is it just because that's a lot like you, or?
Yes. I mean, I feel like me and him, 16, that'd be tough. That'd be
Mm-hmm, no
so tough.
doubt. So where would you say would be your dream coach to be? Who would you say would be your dream coach to be coached by?
That's a tough one. I mean, it's been a lot of great coaches in the years. I mean, I got favorites, but I don't think I could just choose one to be picked by.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like a lot of college coaches.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say? One more thing, just going back to the Ole Miss thing. What would you say is gonna be one of your most favorite things to do there at Ole Miss, and what's your goal? Of course, I mean obviously win a championship, but what's some of your own stats or your own team goals you're really excited to do?
I just want to go in there and be an impact. I mean, I want to go as far as the team go take me. I'm willing to buy into the system. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, really, everyone's goal is to win that chip, go to March Madness, all that. But I mean, I just want to be a part of a good team. Where I'm just gonna be able to develop and be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No doubt. So the last thing I would like to end with is talking a little bit about God and bringing some spiritual stuff in there. So how would you say God has helped you the most throughout your career so far?
I mean, God has helped me all the way. I mean, without God, I wouldn't be here. He put me in this situation. I feel like the reason I'm here is because of God. I mean, you really can't do anything without him. It's like he already knows your future before this. So it's like, I mean, all my success it's all to him.
Hmm. No doubt. I mean, that's something that is truly the best thing I think separates anyone is when they have the faith of God. 'Cause, I mean, everyone knows no matter what path you go through, there's athletics, business. I mean, you're gonna go up and downs, but you always gotta know that there's one person that knows what's gonna happen. He's got your back no matter what.
Right.
Man, well, it's been a great time talking, and thanks for coming on the show today. And I'm super excited to see the path God's got for you because for this upcoming season and for the rest of your career, it's going to be something special.
Yep. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. God bless.
God bless you too.
Lottery's over, and the NBA Combine is done. A lot of people rose to the top, but a lot of people fell down and disappointed. What do I have to say? Well, I'm not going to get into this episode, but what I will get into is who the top 10 picks are looking like they're going to be and into what team they will be playing for. Stay tuned to see what I have to say about where these players will be falling. Is in regards to the NBA mock draft. I'm not going to do the full thing, I'm just going to do the top 10 picks and explain what could happen in my opinion, as I will have one thing that's truly going to stand out to everyone, and I want to hear what you guys have to say, but let me get into this. For starters, the number 1, number 2 pick, obviously New Orleans and Memphis. I think those 2 picks are already decided. New Orleans drafting Zion Williamson and Memphis selecting John Morant from Murray State. Now, in my opinion, I think that Memphis and Pelicans having the number 1 and number 2 pick in the NBA might just be one of the best things that's ever happened to the NBA. You want to know why? Because right now you're going to have 2 small market teams that will never really receive too much media attention, that will now be followed 24/7 by cameras because of the fact they have a generational kind of player in Zion and then a superstar, athletic, highlight reel in John Morant. All right, next thing I'm going to talk about. Number 3 pick in the draft. This is what people are going to debate me with. RJ Barrett reportedly said he wants New York and LA Lakers. Well, I don't think he's going to go to either one. Now, could it happen? Yes. But when you look at this and break it down, it doesn't make sense to me. Now, if you look at it in terms of just saying right now where each roster is, yes, RJ Barrett belongs right on the New York Knicks roster. But that's not how they're going to look at it. They might still get RJ Barrett, but I don't think that's going to be smart. Because if you're really thinking, you truly think and believe that you are going to land Kyrie Irving, you cannot have Kyrie and RJ in the same roster. Especially when you're talking about adding Davis or Kevin Durant. He needs the ball in his hand to go score. What I think he needs is a facilitator and great point guard. Because Frank Ntilikina, we've already heard he might be going for a late first-round pick or even a second-round pick now. He's out. Moody, I believe, is a free agent. Dennis Smith Jr., we'll see what happens there. But I like Darius Garland. Lead the team at point guard. You already have a young core than Garland. You have Dennis Smith Jr., you have Alonzo Trier, you have Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, and so on. A lot of people are high on Darius Garland. That's what I have to say on number 3. LA Lakers, another surprise. RJ Barrett could go there, but look at it. They have so many guards and forwards. You already got Alonzo. Then you have forwards, you have Ingram, you have Kuzma, and you have LeBron James. So where is he going to fit in? Yes, is he more talented maybe some of them? Maybe. But where is he going to fit in? There's one position that I think is mandatory for the LA Lakers, and that's center. Bobo's a great high-risk kind of player, but LA is not in the place where they could risk something. They need to get winning right now. And there's a guy, yes, he needs development, but he's healthy and he's going to be good to go, and that's Jackson Hayes out of Texas. Texas has produced multiple great centers over the past few years, with the names of Miles Turner, Jared Allen, Mohamed Bamba, now Jackson Hayes' turn. And I really love this kid. I think he'd be perfect to fit right in there with the LA Lakers. Think about that one, watch it. Number 5, Jarrett Culver, goes to Cleveland. Now, this is a place RJ Barrett could once again go, but I think the ball will primarily be in Colin Sexton's hand for the years to come. He proved it, and I think he deserves it. Jarrett Culver, guy can play off the ball. He can go shoot the ball, spot up shoot. He can go to the rim. That's why I think would perfectly fit the Cleveland Cavaliers outlook, the roster. I think Colin Sexton and Jarrett Culver would be exceptional together, be able to go off the pick and roll, Larry Nance and others. Number 6, Suns reportedly said that they're eyeing Darius Garland. Garland has the feeling that he will not slip past number 6. Well, he's already off the board at number 3, so I'd go with another point guard, Kobe White. Not quite John Morant or Darius Garland necessarily, but Kobe White would be a great player to plug in there with Booker, with Mikal Bridges, with Oubre, and with DeAndre Ayton and company. I love it. Straight out of North Carolina, exceptional, record-breaking year for North Carolina. Number 7, Cameron Reddish to the Chicago Bulls. They need a point guard. I believe that they would trade this pick for Lonzo, or Phoenix would do it, and then Kobe White would fall to Chicago. But it's prior to trades, prior to anything, let's just get them more shooting. They need more shooting as possible to always keep space on the floor, let Levine do his thing. Cameron Reddish would be a great player to go in there with a high-risk kind of thing, or a high-reward kind of thing. Now here's your guys go. Number 8, Atlanta Hawks select RJ Barrett, the guy that everyone was hoping Atlanta could get. If they were in the top 5, they still get their guy. Now, will RJ Barrett probably fall to number 8? I don't think so. Because there will be trades, there will be shakes-ups. If he falls that far, people will trade up. But RJ Barrett and Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, and John Collins, exceptional. RJ and him could become a great duo. Yes, Trae needs the ball in his hand, but he's also a shooter that can spot up just like a Steph Curry. You can kind of adjust to a Steph Curry, Kevin Durant kind of role. Number 9, DeAndre Hunter out of Washington. He is a great defensive player, has a lot of potential. Build around him. If it's build around him, wiping Washington fresh, clean, we'll see what happens. Number 10, Atlanta. Once again, they draft Bobo. High risk, but they have time to develop. So then you have a possible starting lineup of Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, RJ Barrett, John Collins, and Bobo. That is something special to watch out for in Atlanta. That's what I've got to say regarding the top 10 picks after the Combine, only a couple days after it. Stay tuned, because I will continue to update you guys on who I think is rising, who's falling, and what the draft's looking like up until the 2019 NBA Draft. Stay tuned, everyone. It's going to be great. As alerts and notifications continue to pile up on your phone about coaching staff changes, front office changes, well, you don't have to worry if you haven't seen them all, because I'm going to take care of that and cover all these different teams that are making tons of moves. Some I very well disagree with, but others I praise highly. Stay tuned, buckle in, and get comfortable, because I'm going to get down into all the stuff that's been going down across NBA franchises this past week. Alright, everyone, so of course there's been more and more coaching and front office changes over the past few days since I've done my midweek episode with Coach Ryan Silver, so I need to get into them right now. Starting off with the Cleveland Cavaliers, they've now hired J.B. Bickerstaff to be the associate head coach, which is the lead assistant coach for John Beilein. I think he's a great hire, excited to see what he does. He might become the new head coach at some point. He seems to keep on doing as he moves on and on. But where it came from was Memphis. They're still looking for the next head coach. They've now interviewed Igor Kokoskov, the former Phoenix Suns head coach. I think it's a horrible idea. I don't think they're actually going to hire him, but I hope they do not. If he ever gets another chance, this is not the place. He couldn't even do it with DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Kelly Oubre company. Maybe they were winning some games at that point, but no. No disrespect. Memphis is a very special young core. I've already talked about that in my last episode. They get John Morant and Triple J. It's going to be special. But that's not Booker. That's not DeAndre. That's not Kelly Oubre. That's not Josh Jackson and Warren and Mikal and company. No. Do not do that move. Now here's something shocking. I don't know what the Houston Rockets are thinking. The owner goes out there and says, we're going to upgrade the team, right? We're going to go past the cap limit. Well, why don't you keep your coaches then? They've now let go, / fired John Bisdelic, the defensive mind that's been great in improving the defense over the past few years where Harden's become somewhat acceptable. Chris Paul has gained a whole other level. Capella, so on and so forth. They fired him. They were struggling at the beginning of the year before they had to go bring him back. Remember that? Well, he's gone again. I don't know what to say about this Houston Rockets team. It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. It's laughable. And I think, in my opinion, that Daryl Morey might be showing some signs of weakness. No disrespect, Daryl Morey is a fabulous GM. He's done exceptional things. But I feel like almost every GM does have weaknesses, and I think we're starting to find his. He doesn't know how to finish off what he started. Retain and keep. Now, maybe it's the owner. I don't know what it is. But as of right now, it's just a horrible idea, horrible move, and I think Houston's going down. I said the Cap, their window to winning was last year. It wasn't even this year as we saw they got annihilated. I think it's over, folks. Lakers will not hire a replacement for Magic Johnson. Not really that much of a shocker. Not all teams have a president of basketball operations. I think it should just go see what Pelinka can do. You hired him for a reason. Let's see what he's got. As for the Wizards, they've now offered Tim Connell, one of Denver's top front office pieces, to now become the top front office job within the Washington Wizards. We'll see what happens. I think it would be a good hire. Denver's done some special things out there. I think it's not a bad move because Washington needs to get someone in there that can do the right move for once in a very long time. Miami's assistant coach, Juwan Howard, has now discussed a head coaching job with Michigan to become the new head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Not a bad hire. Once again, Billy Donovan would be the perfect fit to be in there. But will he get fired? Doesn't look like it. Somehow, in some way, he's not being fired, folks. So, that's what I got to say about them. And Pelicans, what a move. I'm going to miss Trajan. Trajan Langdon has been exceptional with the Brooklyn Nets, helping revamp this entire team, making them who they are, and such a great team. But the Brooklyn Nets have now lost their G League head coach, Will Weaver. They've lost Chris Fleming, the assistant coach of the Brooklyn Nets, and now Trajan. Show that they're doing the right thing, but they have to find a way to fill it in. Some rumors say that Jeff Hornacek might have some kind of assistant coach job with them. He's been helping out some. More and more stuff will continue to go down as Memphis, I believe, appears to be the only last remaining team without the head coaching job. We'll see what goes down. I can't wait to keep you guys up to date, and tons of stuff will keep happening through this crazy NBA offseason. Stay tuned, everyone. It's going crazy. The NBA Conference Finals are getting going, and it's getting down to the series now. Check in to see what I have to say about some players that have impressed me big time and how the state of the Warriors and Trailblazers are looking. Oh, and you're not going to want to miss also what I have to say about Giannis and a big decision I think Coach Bud might have messed up. Stay tuned to see what I have to say about this series so far going on. The conference finals are about midway, depending on the team, and boy, has it been a great one. Yes, it's been a lot of blowouts, but also there's been some very great games and some very great things that's gone down. Let's start off in the Western Conference. Golden State has a commanding 3-0 lead over Portland, clearly showing that they will win the series. As for injuries on the series, Kevin Durant is out for the series as expected. Iguodala's MRI came back clean. He is okay and good to go. We're not sure about Boogie. He probably will not play this next game. And Damian Jones is back from his injury early in the series. He replaced Andrew Bogut in the starting lineup, but he only played 3 minutes. As for Portland, Damian reportedly has separated rims he got in Game 2, and it's not looking good. Also, Myers Leonard replaced Enes Kanter in the starting lineup, while Enes Kanter only played 7 minutes in that last game, which I completely disagree with. I'm not sure how that happened, why that happened. Enes Kanter needs to be in the game as much as possible. He's been killing it this whole postseason, and that was not a good move by Terry Stotts whatsoever. But overall, Curry, Clay is back. This is the team that won 73 games this season, the team that won the first championship when this whole thing started. They are back and they're cooking. Clay is playing at a high level, but he's not playing as high as he could be, but he's still playing at a very good level. Steph Curry, he is back to his MVP form, and yes, I said that. But Draymond Green was a guy in the beginning of the season that everyone was saying he deserves a supermax. There was debate, will he get the supermax? Throughout the season, we all said no, he's not. That wasn't even in question. We weren't even talking about a max. You look at it now. Does he deserve the max? I think that might be a case for yes. The way Draymond Green is playing is showing he is truly the leader, and he's an amazing defensive player, and he's got his 7th triple-double now of his career in the playoffs. He's playing out of his mind and incredible. The bench is contributing. Jordan Bell, Kevon Looney. The bench is contributing big time. Livingston, Quinn Cook showed up huge. Jerebko, Alfonso McKinney. Everyone's showing up big time. As for Portland, they're struggling. CJ's playing solid. Damian's struggling. Amina's struggling. Turner's struggling. He had a decent game, but overall this team's struggling. I think they're done in. They're no match for the Golden State Warriors, as I said earlier, and this series is over. It is over and in the books. Warriors are going going over the championship. But next time I talk, it will be a finals preview. This series is over and in the books, folks. As for Milwaukee and Toronto, well, Milwaukee destroyed them in the first 2 games. It was a good win the first game, not destroying, but the second game was commanding destroying. I do want to say something. Today's game was exceptionally amazing. Milwaukee came in 2-0. Toronto obviously got the W in double overtime, and I learned a lot of things. First of all, I might get some hatred for what I'm about to say. In my opinion, when Giannis first went out and they came back and they tied the game, this is crazy to say. I never would ever think I'd ever say this again, but I do not believe that they should have subbed Giannis Antetokounmpo back into the game. They were clicking. They scored 6 points in a row, 6-0 run, tied the game up, and they had the momentum for them. When Giannis came back in, they struggled. It is what it is. Never again will I probably ever see this, because Giannis would never struggle as badly as he did today. Yes, he had his career high 23, 24 rebounds, but he only had, I believe, 12 points. Shot bad from the field, was fouling a ton. There's not much to say about that. But Middleton, now listen, and of course, I even said it. Giannis Antetokounmpo should probably win Defensive Player of the Year, and he should be in there. But in my opinion, he's not even the best defensive player in the entire team. Chris Middleton is destroying on defense. He's playing exceptionally well on defense. It's Kawhi Leonard, that's all I'm going to get into in a minute. But he's been playing great. Brook Lopez, amazing performances. Huge props to Brook Lopez. Malcolm Brogdon's back. Middleton is playing solid. George Hill, though. Wow. Talking about a veteran that's coming back from last year after the. I mean, yes, we'll blame J.R. Smith, but he's the one that missed that free throw to begin with. Big time stuff. Big time stuff from George Hill. He's playing huge. But Toronto is the Kawhi Leonard show, and he should have earned everyone's respect, saying he is back and he is a superstar in this NBA. I'm excited when I go doing my rankings again for my top 120 players. But Kawhi Leonard is something special. He is something special to behold, folks. And it is fun watching this guy play. Kyle Lowry was fouled out early, along with Norman Powell, was playing an incredible game. Fred VanVleet stepped up. Ibaka played good minutes. Siakam was insane. He came back. Marc Gasol was crucial and huge. Danny Green was struggling, but he still had some good defensive plays down the stretch. I'm excited to see what happens. I think by the next time we talk, it will be a conference finals preview. Stay tuned. I've just decided that there might be a conference finals preview midweek this week. Depends on how the playoffs are going, but this is the way it's looking so far as of this point. Next, it's SchuZ Zone, fan favorite time, and guess what? There's some things I want to talk about. Adam Silver, once again, shows his dominance across the league and its structure. Women's NBA stuff is going down. There's a new super team forming there. Oh, you're not going to miss what Draymond Green had to say and what my thoughts are on that, and so much more. Stay tuned. I'm going to hit up some topics that the media has not hit up enough. Don't go anywhere. Alright, first thing we're going to talk about in SchuZ Zone today, Tyreke Evans. Wow. That was heartbreaking to hear, to be honest. But Adam Silver once again showed there's structure in this league, and if you screw up, you're out. OJ Mayo had it, and he's able to reinstate this year, but his career's over. No one's going to take him back. But Tyreke Evans, what a disappointment. I'm going to look over his career. He had one of the greatest rookie seasons we've ever seen by a rookie. Dominated it. Solid series, he got hurt a couple times. Went to New Orleans. Played very good minutes, good time, was solid. Then was traded to the Sacramento Kings to finish off that season in the DeMarcus Cousins trade. Starting to get his rhythm back again, got healthy, and was starting to looking good. Then he went to Memphis and balled out last year. Absolutely balled out. We're looking for a big contract, but screwed up and went with the wrong thing. Indiana was solid, averaged 10 points a game, was big time in the playoffs. But folks, you would never be able to see Tyreke Evans play in the NBA again. Odds are of him coming back in 2 years, not very likely. Disheartening to hear. A guy with so much potential, put it down the drain because of his own needs and drugs. I don't really care with the excuse. Rules are rules, and that's what I'll always go by. Same thing with the marijuana and everything. I'm not saying my stance against it, shall players be able to take marijuana. I'm not saying that. Especially for football, I'm not necessarily against it, maybe during the first day after the game, but I don't want anyone playing high whatsoever. But when a rule is a rule, you must follow it. No matter how dumb or stupid a rule or law is, you must follow that rule and law. Plain and simple. I don't care the excuse or nothing. You're a professional athlete, you're a celebrity, and you have to follow rules no matter what. I don't care if you break them or whatever, you will be disciplined. Especially in this case. Save that stuff for after you're done playing. But while you're an athlete making millions and millions of dollars, you must make sacrifices and you must abide by those rules. That's what I have to say about Tyreke Evans. Absolutely disheartening, but ridiculous that he would do this. Disheartening. But the women's NBA, they're coming, folks. They're going to make more money this year because they finally got a TV deal that I talked about before. But boy, did the Las Vegas just form a super team. Liz Cambridge, second in MVP and leader in scoring last year, has been traded to the Las Vegas Aces. They've now formed a super team, teaming with Asia Wilson, multiple first overall picks, one of the best shooters in women's NBA. This team is looking special, and it's going to be great for women's NBA basketball. I cannot wait to keep watching this series, this league. It's going to be great. Tune in over the summer. Women's NBA is coming up. There's a lot of good players that people need to stop disrespecting. Plain and simple. Now, talking about some free agency stuff. Kyrie Irving. Reportedly, teams are saying they're weary of chasing Kyrie Irving. And the two teams, unanimous sources, not sure who they were, anonymous sources, not sure who they necessarily were, but they did reportedly say that unless KD is wanting Kyrie to come with him, that's the only way they'll sign him. I have a feeling I know who it is. I think it's Brooklyn. And I think it's someone else, but I know someone else, but we'll see. I do not blame them. Kyrie Irving is not a good person to be in a locker room. He will break apart a good locker room. Plain and simple. NBA award finalists were announced. MVP, I'm not going to say who I think or what's going on. I'm just going to give you the facts. Now I'm going to commentate on this one because I have an award show planned for you guys soon. But as for the MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, James Harden, and Paul George represent your 3 MVP finalists. Rookie of the Year is DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, and Trae Young. Coach of the Year is Mike Budenholzer, Coach Mike Malone, and Doc Rivers. Most improved candidates is Pascal Siakam, D'Angelo Russell, and De'Aaron Fox. Your 6th man is Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, and Domantas Sabonis. Your Defensive Player of the Year is Rudy Gobert, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Paul George. That's what you guys got going on for you guys right now. I'm not going to commentate once again. I do have some harsh things to say about that. That was ridiculous and some big-time snubs. But we'll get into that in a few episodes. Last thing is SchuZ Zone, folks. Draymond Green reportedly said, "I'm the GOAT defender." Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Gary Payton, Rudy Gobert even. There's a lot of great defenders. A lot of great defenders. But you know what? I don't disagree. I do not disagree whatsoever. But there is a context in which I must agree to this rule. In terms of team defender, if you put him within a team, he will make your defenses stronger and better than any other player in NBA history. One-on-one, there's other players that might take over him, but he's definitely top 10, probably top 5, maybe even top 3. But there's no player, if you have a structured team, there's no player I'd rather plug in to help that team defense than Draymond Green. He's proven this playoffs, and I think it's time to stop disrespecting him. Draymond Green, in my opinion, is the GOAT defender, and GOAT, by the way, stands for greatest of all time. He's the greatest defender when played inside of a team in NBA history. Plain and simple. Draymond Green, he has earned my respect 110% by this playoff series. Well done, Draymond. You are the GOAT defender in terms of a team. My final take I need to have for SchuZ Zone. Big props to Hillcrest. I am ecstatic to watch what Hillcrest has to bring after signing Michael Foster. Putting him up with Dalen Terry, Dre Harris, Kyrie Walker, it is going to be a heck of a team to watch, and this might just be the greatest high school team we've ever seen. And yes, they were also the school that had DeAndre and Marvin Bagley on the same team. But big things are coming for Hillcrest Prep, and Arizona basketball is huge right now. It's big time, and big time congratulations to everyone in the Hillcrest program. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today on SchuZ Views episode 13. I hope you guys all enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for being a part of SchuZ Views, and I hope you guys can all be a part of it for the bright future it has ahead of us. Because if you guys have seen different Instagram and Twitter posts, there's big-time things happening in SchuZ Views, and you're not going to want to miss it. Big-time special guests, top of the crop athletes, and recruits. You're not going to miss any of it. Also, just want to thank you guys once again. But if you guys want to stay up to date, to see a different guests that are appearing on SchuZ Views, to possibly go see different topics I could be discussing or put your own take into it, go and follow my Instagram or Twitter at Zach Schumaker, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, SchuZ Views Zach Schumaker, or my Facebook page, SchuZ Views Zach Schumaker. All great things that you're not going to miss, and you're able to stay up to date. Also, send me voice messages through the Anchor app or Anchor Online or something. You record your voice, asking me a question, commenting on something, and if I choose it, I'll answer and putting it in my next podcast. Trust me, it is something you're going to want to go check out. Also, go and like my podcast, depending on the platform you may be listening to. Like it, give it 5 stars, and comment. Help SchuZ Views to continue to grow and expand to a whole nother level. With that being said, everyone, I hope you guys all have a blessed week. And with that, SchuZ is out. And don't forget to be the light, and God bless.